Now we're going to look at the third most important white grape in France, and most people have never heard of it. It's called Viognier. Well, actually, more properly it's called Viognier. Have you ever heard of Viognier? Well, now you have. In this video, we're going to take a look at several things virtually nobody knows about it. This is a great wine that I'm really excited about. Come on, let's go. Hey there, Posse. I'm Pierre, and welcome to Asti Wine Consultants. You know, as we're learning more about wine together, I've put together a video series focusing on grapes. More specifically, a category of grapes called noble grapes. Out of over 10,000 wine grapes in the world, there are only 18 that are called noble grapes. 9 are white, and 9 of them are red. These noble grapes are the backbone of the entire wine industry, and most people have never heard of half of them. My hope is that you go with me on this quest to try and taste these 18 noble grapes. If you do, I'll certify you as a Asti Wine Noble Grape Aficionado or a Noble Grape Connoisseur. More on that will be available to you at the end of this video or in the description. Today, we're talking about Viognier. We're going to learn 5 key things about this white wine grape, or this white noble grape. For those of you who are not familiar with the Viognier grape, I hope you'll expand your horizons and indulge yourself in this hidden treat. I think you'll love it. Also, keep in mind at any time, if you like what you hear, click like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when there's a new post. Oh, also, make sure you share this with your friends. I'm sure they would appreciate it. You ready to get started? Number 1, some general trivia. If you love to sort of brood over white wines like Chardonnay, Viognier is definitely something you'll be able to swirl. This white grape is synonymous with the Northern Rhone River Valley in southeast France. Here's a fun fact. Viognier leads a dual life. It's frequently blended with both red grapes like Syrah and white grapes like Semillon. Now, on its own, Viognier produces golden colored aromatic white wines with pronounced stone fruit aromas like apricot and peaches, plus flower blossoms. It does best in cooler climates. The origin of the Viognier grape is really sort of unknown. It's presumed to be an ancient grape, possibly originating in Croatia, and then thought to be brought up the Rhone River Valley by the Romans. One legend indicates that the grape came on a cargo ship along with the Syrah grape, navigating up the Rhone River Valley en route to Beaujolais when it was captured near the site of present-day Condoré by a local group of outlaws. Number 2, where it grows. Now, as you can see on the chart, France and the US are the primary producers of Viognier. It had a remarkable renaissance and is now found more widely in France and is grown in the US, Australia, Italy, and in a variety of other countries, including New Zealand and actually even Japan. The decline in Viognier in France from its historic peak has much to do with the disastrous Phylloxera insect, that invasion in the 1860s. It was virtually non-existent globally, and by 1965 the grape was almost extinct. Several sources even indicated that there was less than 25 to 30 acres grown only in the Northern Rhone River Valley. Now globally by 2000 there were about 7,500 acres, and today approximately 52,000 acres. So if I were to start drinking Viognier today, what would I be looking for? Look for wines coming from the Northern Rhone, especially from the steep slopes above the village of Condoré. It's the only permitted grape for the French wine Condoré. In the 1980s, some growers were quick to recognize the potential of Viognier as the next big thing. In the south of France, along the Mediterranean in Languedoc-Roussillon, the single varietal often lacked acidity, and while it delivered expressive aromas, it doesn't deliver much flavor. Because of that, it's blended with a whole variety of other grapes. None of these wines can match the finesse and complexity of Condoré. In the US, in the mid-1980s, a group of California vintners who later became known as the Rhone Rangers started planting Viognier. Today, California is the most successful Viognier producer outside of France. California Viogniers lean towards the over-powerful end of the spectrum, many reaching 15% in alcohol. You want to specifically look for cooler northern enclaves of Napa, Sonoma, and the central coast of California for the best Viogniers. Another American region to look out for is Virginia. I think this is really interesting. Did you know that Viognier has actually become the signature grape in Virginia? Now, meanwhile, in South Australia, people have started to make perfumed Viogniers in the Northern Rhone style. The oceanographic influence allows enough coolness to provide finesse and elegance, while the heat ensures full ripening and flavor development. Here it's often blended with Marsanne to produce an intensely rich white wine full of perfume and tropical fruit flavors. How are you doing there? Is this information making sense? If it is, write Asti in the comments below. Number 3, the basics of the grape varietal. Now, Viognier is relatively thick-skinned, producing high levels of sugar, and tends to be fuller bodied with some texture and relatively high in alcohol. Low levels of acidity make it a challenge for winemakers. On the palate, it's typically dry, although sometimes it's produced slightly off-dry. Sensuous, hedonistic, and seductive are words frequently used to describe this wine, but it's the full-bodied floral, ripe-fruited characteristics that make it so distinctive. It has a lot of style with an underpinning of complexity. Expect perfume notes of peach, apricots, and apple blossoms, and noticeable alcohol. Like Chardonnay, Viognier has the potential to produce full-body wines with a lush, soft character. In contrast to Chardonnay, Viognier has less acidity and more natural aromatics that include notes of peach, pears, violets, and minerality. While regularly encountered alone, Viognier is often found blended with other white wine grapes in the Southern Rhone. Its full body and aromatic profile makes for a good blending option with more acidic and leaner varietals. And another cool piece of trivia, Viognier is also classically used in small levels. That's anywhere between 2 and 5% in the coveted red Syrah based wines of Côte d'Aroti in France. Number 4, aroma and taste profile. Viognier is primarily known for its heady, very expressive herbal aromas. As you see on the chart, you'll pick up on fruit notes, floral notes, and herbal and spice notes. Now, real quick, number 5 are some of the suggested food pairings. You'll see on the chart a whole list of items that you can pair well with your Viognier. Now, the trick to pairing foods with Viognier is to respect its delicate floral notes and low to medium acidity. So, as a general rule of thumb, focus on embellishing and expanding its core flavors while making sure that the foods you pair with it aren't too acidic or bold. To top off my list would be sort of mild creamy curries or spicy Southeast Asian curries. Even curries made with curry powder work well, as do spicy dishes with a hint of peach or apricot, echoing the flavors of the wine. Now remember, you can get 1 or 2 Asti Wine Consultants Noble Wine certifications. either the aficionado once you have 6 of the noble wine under your belt, or the connoisseur certification once you've completed all 18 of the noble wines. For either of these, you also need to watch the introductory episode. There's more information available to you in the description. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about the noble grape Viognier. Thanks again for joining me. Hey Posse, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And please consider hitting subscribe. Also, click here to check out our new online shop. We have a great lineup of wine-related items that will help you get the most out of your wine experience. Oh, and be sure to check out these other videos. Until next time, cheers.